Welcome to the WPAOG Podcast. This episode features retired Colonel Mark Bieger, class of 1991, and President and CEO of the West Point Association of Graduates. Mark graduated from the United States Military Academy with a Bachelor of Science in Civil Engineering and commissioned as an infantry officer. For nearly 29 years in the U.S. Army, he held leadership positions at the platoon, company, battalion, and brigade levels, deploying twice to Iraq and receiving the Silver Star for valorous actions. Prior to his retirement from the Army in December of 2019, he served as USMA Chief of Staff. In this episode, Mark talks about his West Point experiences and the highlights of his Army career, his mission and goals for the West Point Association of Graduates, Margin of Excellence programs, and the enduring bond that links generations of West Point graduates. Please enjoy this episode with our host, Jamie Enos.
Mark, thanks so much again. Welcome back. It's been about a year since you've been on the show. Yeah, last time you were here, I think we talked about Founders Day.
That's right.
Yeah. Do you have a busy season again this year?
Well, yeah, I'm very busy, but I was thinking a year has passed. That's incredible how time flies. But yeah, busy season this year, and I don't think it ever slows down around here.
No, never. That is for sure. And you're about to hit your 2-year anniversary here at AOG as well. So, yeah. What's been your proudest moment as a CEO here?
Honestly, my most proud moments are when our team are able to shine or to excel and to be recognized by our graduates. More than anything else, the thing that gives me pride is when I get a note from a graduate complimenting something that our team has done, and then be able to see it real time, because we've got some amazing employees inside the association, graduates who care about the mission, care about our graduates, care about our cadets, and to see them recognized is honestly my most proud moment. If you were to ask me what my most memorable moments have been, we'd be here for 5 or 6 hours. The really special part of this job is you get to see these magical moments every single day in so many different environments or situations. It's incredible. I mean, just recently we had our distinguished graduates here for the year of 2025. And to see, we had 5 of the 6 that were here. 6 wasn't able to make it, but to see those 5 be recognized by their classmates, be celebrated by their friends and family, and to be honored by the academy. I mean, there was like magical moments for 2 days straight. But the neat thing about this job is you get to see stuff like that almost every single day. And it's really special.
Yeah. So with so much going on and all that we do here, how do you define success?
Well, success is defined, in my mind, directly tied to our mission and vision. Our mission is to serve the Long Gray Line and to serve West Point. And our vision is to be the most highly connected alumni body in the world. So everything we do around this building and around the nation, around the Long Gray Line, are tied to those 2 ideas. How best do we serve and how best do we connect? We've got inside, as our graduates would expect, we've got hundreds of measures, of tools, of data, trends, hundreds of ways of measuring. That's success. But the ultimate measurement is by our who we serve, by our graduates and by the academy. At the end of the day, if our stats say we're doing great, but our graduates think differently, then we're doing something wrong. The same for the academy. If we might think that we're performing very well in certain areas, but if our customers, if our graduates in the academy think otherwise, then we've got to reset.
Yeah, I think that leads right into your background, military, of course, very distinguished, and then your experience in higher ed, and then how your leadership principles that just guide you through this position of all of that incoming information at all the times. How does that guide you in this position?
Well, I would say, so for me personally, I was shaped, by my experience here at West Point. Those 4 years transformed my life. So I think I've taken those kind of leadership principles, those ideals with me, I hope, for the rest of my life. of course, 29 years in the Army. There's a certain way of thinking, a certain way of doing things. So that shaped who I am today. But I did have the great opportunity to serve in two flagships inside of the Southeastern Conference at University of South Carolina and at Louisiana State University. So I got to see how things get done in those environments. So my life has really provided me incredible opportunities, amazing mentors and examples. And if I was to summarize it, my thoughts on leadership really come down to a few P's. The first one is people. Nothing gets done without them. Everything revolves around them. An organization can't be successful without the very best. Tied to people is purpose. If you don't have clear understanding of what the mission or what the vision is, if you're not united in that effort, you're probably not going to reach the level of success that you would like. I do believe that partnerships are necessary in everything we do. I mean, we can be pretty good here at the Association of Graduates, and I think we are, but we're much better if we're partnered with organizations, of course, the Academy, but athletics, everybody else that's taking care of our graduates in the Corps of Cadets. And the last thing is passion. I'm getting a little bit older. The passion thing is it's a little bit challenging maybe as you get, but every day trying to come to work into this organization with the greatest level of excitement, passion, and energy that you can bring, I think is just as great for the organization. But ultimately, and hopefully this doesn't sound too cliched, I do believe that I'm guided by what I learned here at West Point. The 4 years of discipline, standards, respect, a pursuit of excellence, those things clearly shaped me and hopefully stay with me today. And the ideals of duty, honor, and country, those things are ingrained, I think, in every graduate. They're clearly ingrained in my head and my heart, and I try to bring that to this job as well.
Yeah, it's that tradition, right, of all that's deeply rooted here. How do you think we do that here at AOG? We balance that tradition with innovation, right? Because we're always trying to be on the cutting edge. I mean, even today we're videoing this, right? We're beta. Thank you for being our beta on that. I appreciate that. We are deeply rooted in tradition, but at the same time trying to be innovative. And so how do you think we balance that here at AOJ and along with the side of the academy and supporting them as well?
Yeah, it's a great question, and I think it's even more important in an organization like this that is so deeply rooted in history, in tradition, in legacy, because we constantly in conversations inside the organization and with our graduates are always thinking about honoring our past and then making sure that we're focused and we're ready for the future. That goes on every day at our incredible military academy, and it exists here inside of the Association of Graduates as well. So we all the time think about what is best for us in the moment, preserving those traditions and that history as best as possible, but making sure that our graduates are taken care of for the years to follow. It's a balance, and it's an important one because you can't. I don't think you can think about one without the other. They're completely interdependent and tied together. I think we do a decent job. One of the deep programs that we have here in the Association Graduates, kind of one of our flagship programs, is the 50-year affiliate, which has existed for a number of decades, continues to get better. But it's the idea that you bring classes that are 50 years removed at certain points in time, not all, but in certain points of time, where those two generations can come together, celebrate the things that connect them, celebrate the ideals of leadership or the purpose of leadership and service, but also think about the future. The class of 25 just graduated here about a month ago. The class of 75 had a significant impact on that class. Not in the classroom, not in Arvin, or not out in the tactical ranges or training areas, but just in example, mentorship, presence. Because I think the class of 25 saw and touched and saw what a great class the class of 1975 is, and together as a class, it generated conversations of how can we be like that someday.
Yeah.
So it's a wonderful program that brings together connection and tradition, but also looks to the future, because that class of 25 is an incredible one. But they're going to march in that same path that 75 did. And I think 50 years from now, they'll be doing the same thing.
Yeah, we've heard that too from some of the cadets that had graduated before they graduated about, oh, I can't wait to come back and be that 50 year. And it's for them to have that foresight already, and they hadn't even walked across the stage yet with their diploma. It was really feeling the empowerment of that program at the
Well,
time. So,
my classmates and I talk all the time. Class and I won.
mhm.
That we talk. Wow, I'm sure class 41 was moving around. They were they were present, but we didn't have the kind of the program set up to have that interaction. What a what a gift that would have been for me and my classmates to interact with them and to understand what they experience and to look at them today and see for ourselves, how do we get to be like them 50 years from now? Because that's where the magic is. And it's just one example. We have 44 programs and services here. Not all maybe at the same emotional level as a 50-year affiliate, maybe not all at the same level of impact. But again, they're all focused on service and connection. And they're all, back to your original question, they're all balancing this idea of history and tradition and legacy with a look towards the future.
So AOG's strategic plan over the next 5 to 10 years. Where are we going? Where are we headed? What's that look like?
Well, we're actually halfway through a year-long review of our strategy. We think we're on the right path, but we know we can get better. All of our activities will remain tied to our mission and our vision, as our grads would expect. We're really focused at delivering the programs and services of highest impact in the moments that matter most to our graduates. We're mostly aligned in that area right now, but we're doubling down to make sure, again, greatest impact in those moments that matter. We can't be everywhere at once, but we can definitely be there where our grads need us most. We will work very hard in this strategic review to be as agile as possible. We will work very hard to provide best-in-class services and programs. We will continue to work very hard in our efforts to encourage alumni participation. We're number 4 in the nation right now, but there's no reason in the world we shouldn't be number 1, which is a reflection, of course, great team here, but mostly because of our graduates. And we're going to work very hard at personalized and tailored engagement with every single one of our graduates, which is not as outside the realm of possible. Jamie, you and your team, our communications and marketing team, are already, I think, one of the leaders amongst our peers in this space. But we're going to work hard to make sure that the engagement is tailored and personalized towards our graduates. Again, in moments that matter, but also in a way that means the most to them at that point in their life.
One of the things is serving West Point, right? How do you ensure that we are aligned to the academy, and what kind of things do we do to support the academy in that way?
So first and foremost, we have to always remember here inside this building that our mission is to serve. We're serving the academy in the way that's best for the academy. So our first and for me, our highest priority is to be a trusted and valued partner of the United States Military Academy and not take that for granted. It's important that our superintendent, who's a great man, great leader, trust us, that he can rely on us. He knows that we're not going to do something that's not aligned, that's not supportive and not helpful. Every now and then we'll get excited about an initiative or an idea or a story, and we'll start pushing maybe in that direction, not for bad intentions, but it takes a constant focus just to remain that we're as supportive as possible. It's a relationship based on trust, and those relationships can't be delivered by email or by memo. It's got to be continually earned and re-earned, and not just by one individual, by our entire team. Thankfully, our employees here, again, first and foremost, see our role as service, and they do a great job in their interactions with the academy and our graduates. But to make sure that alignment is strong and that it's real, and it can be trusted in the challenges that we face ahead.
Sure. I think oftentimes people say like, "Oh, you work at a college," and I'm like, "No, it's a military academy," right? And you have to define, that as a different thing. It's not a college. And West Point takes on so many different roles of not just academics, right? It's the military and the training, the physical, and of course, maybe I don't know how you prioritize what's most important any given day, hour, minute, right? But the leaders of character. And I think that's one of the one of the biggest responsibilities we have is supporting the development of leaders of character. Can you describe how we support that here at AOJ?
Yes. I think, wow, it's a great question. And first and foremost, I think we can support the academy just by being good people ourselves, by setting the example in our own way of being a leader of a character. I think that's our first responsibility. As you go through the second through the 50th in terms of responsibilities, it's really everything we're doing. Everything we do here, you can connect directly or indirectly to that mission of the academy of developing leaders of character. Our board chairman and I were sitting in on a military academy's board of visitors meeting not too long ago. So the superintendent, the dean, the commandant, the athletic director were presenting to the board of visitors and giving them a good update over about a semester's worth of activity. It was incredible to see that almost everything that was presented in discussion over about 2 or 3 hours, you could see the association graduates' support and service, and either directly or indirectly with everything that was being presented. And it really brought a sense of pride and validation, I think, to what we're doing here. None of that was scripted, of course. We were visitors along, we were observers just along with the rest of those gathered. But everything that was being presented, whether it was in the academic area or domain, trips abroad, unique internships, graduate scholars, which the Academy is very incredible with, right, specific studies inside of departments. The academic program had graduates enabled by the Association of Graduates contributions all over that presentation. If you shift over into the military space underneath the commandant, you can see again the association graduates and some of our amazing alumni giving and supporting these programs and that success. Same saying on the physical. On the athletic, of course, when our athletic director is up there presenting, you can see the association graduates' impact on the mission of the academy in so many ways, again, directly or indirectly. It's powerful to see, and that was just one example of our contribution in that space.
So it's no secret that AOG is a nonprofit. What role does philanthropy have in sustaining programs at the academy and for our grads?
Jamie, philanthropy is essential to everything that we do around this organization and everything we enable inside of the academy and the long gray line. The margin of excellence allows all of this to occur. All the examples that I was just talking about inside the board of visitors meet, all the touches and the support that we give comes through the margin of excellence. The government provides great support to the academy, and you can't walk around this post right now without bumping into a crane or construction site. The government does incredible support for the academy in producing second lieutenants for our bombing. Everything above that in terms of experience, opportunity, engagement, everything above that kind of baseline level is provided by the margin of excellence, provided by our graduates. And it's amazing to see. We have 57,000 plus graduates today. The unique role that this organization plays is revealing opportunities, sharing pathways for those graduates to give back to an institution that transformed us all. I mean, what better purpose is there in an organization to facilitate that in some way, or to encourage it, or to enable it? And that's the small role that we play in making that thing a reality. At the end of the day, classes like 25, 24, 23 walk across that stage at Mikey Stadium excited and ready to take on the world and be a second lieutenant in our Army. And when they look back over their 4 years, they will see the impact of the long gray line on their development, on their experiences, and where they're at today as a leader and where they're going to go in the future. It really is an amazing thing. Mm-hmm. And it comes down to the idea that giving back to your alma mater is a very special gift, because those young ones, so the class of 25 as the example, they are following in our path. They did make a very brave decision to defend our nation and our Constitution. And for us to be able to help them in some ways, some small, some very big, along that development and in the direction that they're going is really, really special.
The programs that are there for them are really exceptional, and it's impressive. It's a proud moment as an employee here when you look at what we are able to deliver for them. So, yeah.
But as always, we could do better.
Yeah.
And that's what that strategic review is about. That's why we're constantly looking at ways to improve. And that's why our graduates' feedback, good and bad, across the range is so important to our operations here. So I totally agree.
Yeah. Okay, so switching from the cadets to the alumni, which I know is also obviously our very big focus here. Can you describe how AOG measures the impact when it comes to the alumni support and the engagement on that side of the house? When we're talking about career services and reunions and the 50-year affiliate program, memorial support, we have so many programs here at AOG that have major impact on our grads.
Yes. At the end of the day, the most important measure comes from those we serve.
Mm-hmm.
And that is very important in the moment that grad experiences the Association of Graduates or a service that we may be offered, or over a period of time. The most important feedback is from the perspective of our graduates. We offer 44 programs and services here that I would say, and I haven't seen the entire nation, I haven't studied every university, but I will put those 44 up against any other university in the nation. Nobody comes close. Nobody comes close in terms of the variety of services provided, and nobody comes close in terms of the impact of services provided. You just mentioned a couple, Jana, but career services, memorial support, veteran services, our class and societies, the list goes on and on. And every one of these, can they get better? For sure. Are we always looking to improve? Absolutely. Are they best in class? I would put them up against anybody in the nation. Now, I would say again, the most important though, is not what Mark Bieger thinks about this. It's what our graduates, it's what the graduates in the class of 25 who are just out there getting started in this journey, all the way back to the class of 41. It's what do they think? Mm-hmm. And that's why our graduates' feedback is so important to us. This last Founders Day season, I forget the exact number, but I'm going to say we're going to round down probably to 110 events that were going on really around the world. We have a small piece in that. It's mostly societies. It's mostly graduates coming together. We have a very small piece in terms of associations support to that. Amy and I, my wife, were able to get to, I forget the exact number again, but I want to say 11 or 12 of them this past season. Every single one was an amazing, unique, and very special gathering. And it was a celebration of shared service. It was a celebration of our shared past. It was a celebration of our academy. It was a celebration of the long ray line. But in those conversations, you can see areas that the association is providing a real support and value to our graduates in any number one of these areas. But you can also see opportunities for us to improve. We are only limited, honestly, by the number of people we have here in the organization and the time we have in a given day. And I think when you think about what we're doing for the long range line, it's incredibly important. It's of the highest purpose and impact. And the most important measure is from the eyes of our graduates.
You talked earlier about the 50-year affiliate program and that cross-generational bond and creating that. Can you describe some of the ways we're doing that with younger grads and the programs that we have and the services we're providing for them?
We're really spending a lot of time thinking about, because there is a desire from our graduating classes and from our younger grads to be able to connect more frequently or more often or more in a meaningful way. A lot of this happens organically. A lot of this happens with classes that are 5, 10, 15 years ahead of this previous class, connecting just by chance or by situation. We're really looking at ways that the association, through technology or other ways, might be able to facilitate those connections even more so. A graduate that this class of 25 is focused at what's right in front of them. They're focused on a platoon that they're going to receive here in a couple of months. but there's real value in trying to connect them with a graduate 10, 15, 20 years in front of them. Again, some of that happens naturally, but we're looking inside the association about how we might go to facilitate that.
Yeah, those are amazing examples of how people can give back and participate and connect. Do you have any other suggestions for people to participate and give back and contribute to the Corps and the Long Gray Line? And
I think the quick answer in terms of giving back is to really work hard to remain connected. Remain connected with your class, most important. Remain connected to the academy, very important. And then remain connected to your association. I think that connection will reveal opportunities of service or reveal opportunities to give back in any number of ways. But that connection is really important. I know for me personally, when I graduated in 91, I was, like all of my classmates, we were heads down, doing our best, raising families. So the idea of connecting was sort of kind of at the end. Some of my classmates did it very well. I was probably below average. But you can see examples in even these younger classes of where they're intentionally working very hard to maintain those connections, to support each other and to take care of each other. Those connections will just get stronger and stronger as time goes on. So when a class like just recently, the great class of 1970 was back here for their 55th reunion, which we supported. When you see that class gathered together, so happy to be with each other and to be back at their alma mater, I mean, that's the gold standard. That's what we would all like to aspire to do. I think the association plays a small role in that. It's really classes doing that organically, but we're looking at every way possible to help facilitate those connections.
so you mentioned feedback driving us, right? External feedback from our grads, and that's how we measure our impact and those kind of things. How do you deal with those those perspectives that come in that may not align to how we think we're doing or what our daily task looks like for that day?
Well, I tell you, JBZ, I always respond with we are the association for all of our graduates, not just the graduates that I agree with, or not just the graduates that somebody else may agree with. We are the association for all of our graduates. So all of that feedback, good and bad, of course we love the good, but all of that feedback is helpful to us. And when I get an email or a letter or a phone conversation, I start with the idea of we both share a love for our alma mater. We both share a love for United States Military Academy. We may disagree on a point or two, or there may be some concerns that I don't necessarily understand or share. But if you start from a place of respect and love for the alma mater, then everything else works. And you can kind of get to what is the issue, what's the concern, what's the complaint. And I know not necessarily all of our grads will agree with even maybe even what I'm saying right now. But if you start with a love for West Point, everything else seems to work. And then you can kind of get to what is the concern and how can we best address it.
That seems to happen a lot with transparency. Do you think there's specific things that you've done in order to guide that principle?
Well, transparency is incredibly important to us. And we're committed to the highest level of transparency possible. What I say when a graduate is disappointed or concerned or expresses some criticism, maybe, the association is the association for all of our graduates, not just the ones we agree with, not just the ones who might agree with us, but we are the association for all of our graduates. So we are committed to transparency. We are committed to the best level of communication with our graduates. And if a graduate expresses a concern, I do my best personally, and I think we as a team do our best to respond to that.
Mm. Well, Mark, thank you, and I appreciate you coming on today. You get one final question, and that is the magic genie rubbing the lamp. What would you ask your grads to do? You get one question to ask them. What do you want them to do?
That's easy. First of all, Jamie, thanks for this conversation. This is great. My one request of our graduates that I repeat over and over is to be connected. Connect with your classmates. If you haven't in years, connect, reconnect, strengthen that bond that exists in the class. Connect with your alma mater, connect with our great academy, and then in whatever way inspires you, connect with your association. I think those connections will be rewarding. They'll They'll make you feel really good about the path that you've been on, and it will inspire you for thoughts about what to do in the future. Jamie, if I could close with one short story. This is now March back 2 years ago. I just gotten into the seat. I was on this 14-mile march, the same march that we all, every cadet has experienced for years. And about mile 6, mile 7, 8, somewhere in that window, there's a old grad up ahead of me walking next to a new cadet. And as I was approaching them, coming up from the rear, the conversation that the two were having was incredible. It was about the summer, what has the new cadet learned, what were his thoughts and perspective. And the conversation was so comfortable between the two of them. I assumed and I knew that there had to be a father and son. It was so easy and it was so well connected. I thought that's got to be a dad talking to this boy. What I came to learn as we continued to march is that wasn't. It was a grad from '84 talking to a new cadet that he had just met a couple months before. That moment, for me, showed the power of the long gray line, the connections, the shared experience, the shared service. All of that is right there in front. How can this new cadet, I don't even know where he was from, be having a conversation so comfortable and so trusting of a grad some years removed in that moment on mile 8 of this road march? It was really special. That doesn't exist anywhere else in the world. It only exists at West Point. And that's a gift, that connection again, that I think that the association can play an important role in facilitating and to making it a reality, not just for young grads, not just for old grads, but for all of our grads.
Yeah. Well, Mark, I really, again, appreciate your time. I know it's very valuable. So thanks for coming on again today.
All right. Thanks, Jamie. Appreciate you. Appreciate the team.
Thank you for listening to the WPAOG Broadcast Network. Please take a moment to rate and review the show and subscribe to automatically get updates on a new episode. Thank you for listening.